Repulsive human.
Sleeping with Baraka's repulsive.
Who told you this?
Hello guys, and welcome to another MK Mobile character review, today featuring Klassic Mileena for second time. As usual guys, please note the date when this video has been recorded, because a lot of things may have changed since then. And if you're not familiar with the matrix I'm using in order to evaluate characters, you can find it on the top right corner of the screen. So without any further ado, let us put Klassic Mileena to the test. Klassic Mileena guys was introduced to the game with update 1.16. In fact, this is one of the best updates in MK Mobile history because it gave us quest mode. In addition, it is good to mention that Klassic Mileena was never part of the old store. She was exclusively obtainable through Faction Wars rewards, just like Classic Smoke is today. And of course, it is worth mentioning that nowadays Klassic Mileena is a challenge gold, but when she was released this wasn't the case. 1 or 2 years passed and Warner Bros. Decided that it was about time to promote or demote, I don't know, but the point is that she is now a challenge gold character, and this wasn't the case in the past. So let us check her stats. Her attack is 49,140, which is the 18th highest in the game and the highest among all gold cards. The hit points, they are 103,680, which is the 11th highest in MK Mobile, and again, the highest among all gold cards. The toughness is 45,360, the 18th highest in the game, and the highest among all gold characters. And the recovery is 44,415, which is the 21st highest in MK Mobile, and the second highest among the gold cards. The power generation is just 100%. So it seems that Klassic Mileena by far has the best stats in the gold league, and she definitely deserves the solid 19.4 out of 28 possible points. Special one of Mileena guys is called Sadistic, and here it is what you need to know about it. First thing first, it can be completely blocked by the opponent, it doesn't have any buff or debuff unfortunately, it can be cast from distance, even at ultra long range it will be perfectly fine, so it follows her combo enders without any problems, at least when it comes to connecting. Unfortunately, at some situations your opponent will block your special one after your combo enders, at some other situations he will not block it. It seems to me that it is perfectly random, but anyways, let's proceed. The special attack is lethal, it consists of up to 3 mini hits, the third mini hit is unlocked if you score more than 90% of the minigame, and of course it has the single tap rectangle as mini game. When it comes to the damage, the minimum damage of the ability is 18,648, which is the 30th highest in the game and the 6th highest among the gold characters. The maximum damage is very impressive, 42,892, which is the 9th highest in the game and the highest among all gold cards. Once again, the special attack can be completely blocked with the opponent, it doesn't have any buff or debuff, it can be cast from distance, it is lethal, it consists of up to 3 mini hits, and it has the single tap rectangle as minigame. So for his special one, Mileena is going to get only 6.8 out of 13 possible points. Classic Combo, this is the name of Mileena Special 2, and this is yet another long-range special ability. What you need to know about it is that it can be completely blocked by the opponent, it has bleed as debuff, as we mentioned already, it can be cast from distance, it is lethal, it consists of 3 mini hits, and it has the 2 single tap circles as mini game. When it comes to damage, the minimum damage of the ability is 46,621, which is the 26th highest in the game and the 3rd highest among all gold cards. The maximum damage is 93,243, which is the 21st highest in the game and the highest among all gold characters. Once again, the special attack can be completely blocked by the opponent, it has bleed as debuff, it can be cast from distance, it is lethal, it consists of 3 mini hits, and it has the 2 single tap circles as minigame. So for her special 2, Klassic Mileena is going to get 12.7 out of 19 possible points. The X-ray of Mileena guys is pretty straightforward, she basically jumps on her prey and she bites a big part of its skull. In addition to that beautiful thing, you have to keep in mind that this X-ray is long ranged, like her special 1 and special 2. You can even cast it at ultra long distance away from your enemy, and it has bleed as debuff. When it comes to damage, the damage of the X-ray is 113,756, which is the 27th highest in the game and the second highest in the GOAT League. Once again, the X-ray has bleed as debuff and it can be cast from distance. So for her third special ability, Mileena is going to get 3.5 out of 4 possible points, and the total amount of points she gets for her special attacks adds up to 23 out of 36 possible. The basic attacks of Klassic Mileena, guys, are not really that great. She definitely deserves block breakers. If you don't give her block breakers, you better know how to use her properly, because otherwise she is going to get killed. The only time when I wouldn't use block breakers on Mileena is when I have another great fighter on my team. So in that case, I would just tag in Mileena when one of my enemies is really low. I'm going to finish him off, and then I'm going to tag her away back to safety. In all other cases, I would give Mileena block breakers, because first thing first, her basic attack speed is not impressive. Second thing, her chaining is not impressive because she doesn't push away enemies if they're blocking. And on top of that, I have to mention probably the biggest problem I have with her basic attacks is that the initiation speed is horribly slow. What I mean by that is the time it takes her to start swinging her size and start hitting the enemies. In other words, the time it takes her to start doing her basic attack combo. In a lot of cases, her combo can be interrupted before she even starts it, as you can currently see. I'm tapping on the screen at this very moment, but I cannot start my combo. Johnny Cage is so much faster, and he always interrupts me before I can even start. So this is a big problem because it cannot be solved by having block breakers. And that's really bad. So in general, the only good thing about the basic attacks of Klassic Mileena is that if you manage to break the enemy's block, you always are going to throw your opponent's long range away from you, and that's kind of okay because both of her special attacks will connect from long range. But apart from that, the general picture is not really great, so she's going to get 6 out of 10 possible points for her basic attacks. Okay guys, now I will be talking about the passive of Mileena, and quite honestly, this is the main reason why I decided to do this review again. Yes, this is second version of my Klassic Mileena review. The previous one will probably unlisted by this time when you are watching this video. Reason being, the passive of Mileena before update 3.0, I kind of thought it was cool, but I thought that the Dead Kitana had just a better version of it. Now, after update 3.0, I no longer think the same thing. I am convinced that the passive of Klassic Mileena now is amazing, especially for survival mode, because in survival mode, you know, the regeneration effect is reduced, but this doesn't really apply for Kitana, not Kitana, I'm sorry, for Mileena's passive. Anyways, the Mileena's passive is called Femme Fatale, and this is what it does. When Mileena defeats an opponent, she recovers a percentage of that enemy's max health. Mileena's female teammates gain health when she defeats an opponent, and that's pretty cool basically, because the only counter to this is poison. If Mileena is poisoned, she cannot really heal. So in a way, Classic Reptile is a pretty horrible opponent for her. But if she isn't poisoned, then this passive is amazing because it can literally fill the health bar of your entire team, especially if you're killing a very healthy opponent, with a lot of health, such as for example MK11 Scarlet, such as the Terminator, such as Black Dragon Tremor. Every single character who is, let's say, supposed to be a tank, and he has a lot of HP, the moment you kill him, this is going to be Christmas for you. In general, extremely useful passive in survival mode. This is the main reason why Mileena is regarded as the queen of survival mode, because her passive is simply gorgeous there. All you have to do, even if you have Mileena, let's say, very low fusion, if you want to play safe, you just have to wait until the last enemy is left on the enemy team and he's extremely low. Then you just tag in Mileena, pray that he doesn't get Revenant, and then finish him off. And there you go, your entire team HP bar is full. That's really beautiful, and this is the main reason why Klassic Mileena is going to get 20 out of 20 points for her passive. She doesn't have to be fully maxed out. Even at Fusion 0 her passive will work and will do pretty great in survival mode. And one more thing about her passive, I am giving it 20 out of 20 not only because it works great in survival mode, but because at this point it seems to me that it is absolutely broken and something is wrong with it and has to be fixed or adjusted. Currently, as you can see, I'm testing the passive of Mileena. I'm killing enemies that have around 160k health and 117k health, and they both healed me for higher amount than their health. So that's absolutely ridiculous. For example, the other Aaron Black had 161k health, and when I killed him, I healed back 179k health. So does that mean that Mileena heals for 110 or 120% of her opponent's health? If this is the case, then it's totally broken. I don't remember this being the case in the beginning. So it is either bugged or buffed, but I would rather say it is bugged. We are yet to see that, but just for me it feels totally broken at this stage. Mileena is just an outworld character, so she gets 1 point for classes and 0 points for tagging attack. Okay guys, it is time to decide whether Klassic Mileena is a good character, and this is going to be a very interesting part of this review because I believe that she is one of the strangest characters in the game. Let's take a look at the bigger picture once again. She has very good basic attacks. No, I'm kidding. She has terrible basic attacks, one of the worst fighters in the game. She has pretty great stats for a gold character. She has underwhelming special abilities. They do a lot of damage, but both of them can be blocked, and the buffs and the debuffs are not really that amazing. And at the same time, she has amazing passive. Because of this passive, she is the queen of survival mode. And that's about it. And that's the biggest problem of her. She is great in survival mode, and she underperforms everywhere else. Let's take, for example, Combat Cup Johnny Cage. He is great in survival mode, probably not as great as her, but he comes very close. However, he is amazing in towers, against bosses everywhere else, and Klassic Mileena isn't. So that's her biggest drawback. She is only good in one game mode. One will say that that's enough, but to me it isn't. And this is the main reason why I'll be giving her 2 out of my 3 subjective points, and with them she's going to score 72.5, and we can label her as a great character. On our current rankings, guys, she is 37th, just above Ronin Takeda and just below Wretch Devourer. So the final verdict for Klassic Mileena is going to be a great character. Okay, after we established what the Matrix thinks about Klassic Mileena, it is time to your vote. And by the way, if you want to take part of the next episodes, if you want to vote, please join our Discord server. You're going to find the link to the Discord server in the description of this video. Basically what you have to do is either click on it or just copy paste it to your browsers, and you'll be able to join our Discord server and vote for the next review score. Now, long story short, 105 of you guys voted this time for the average score of 8.21. The most common score was 8. 38 of you voted with an 8, and yeah, there was a guy who voted with a 1. Yeah, I'm not going to comment that. Anyways, the thing is that according to you, Mileena is an amazing character, scoring 82.2, and according to the Matrix, she's just great. Now, where is the truth? I reckon it is somewhere in the middle, because it is true that Klassic Mileena is amazing indeed in survival mode, but she is average or even below average in any other game mode. You can argue that survival mode is the most important game mode, and that is correct, but the other game modes are also important. For example, towers, boss fights. I've never seen a very successful team in towers, for example, featuring Klassic Mileena. She's just not that great there, and that's the truth. So I would say that this time the truth is in the middle between your final verdict and the final verdict of the Matrix. And by the way, on our current standings of your votes, Klassic Mileena is third, just above Circle of Shadow Kung Lao and just below Circle of Shadow Sub-Zero. So your final verdict of Klassic Mileena is going to be amazing character. Okay guys, it is time to decide whether Klassic Mileena should be used as your opener. I would say she could be a decent opener, but in a lot of cases, if you have other options... okay, let's say this way, she's just decent, but there are much better openers. So, if you have better alternatives, just use them. Forget about Mileena as your starter. When it comes to the characters that she counters, well, it's really difficult to say because all she does is heals, right? So, very difficult to say if she counters a specific character. However, she's being countered by poison, which means that her best counter in the game is Classic Reptile. Because after all, she has to tag in order to kill an enemy, and if she tags in, she's going to get poisoned, thus her passive actually won't work, and that's a big problem for Mileena. Okay guys, we got to the equipment. Now, Klassic Mileena badly requires block breaker. So before you think of anything else for Mileena, first think of the block breaker. What is the block breaker going to give Mileena? If you do not give her block breaker, then you shouldn't be using her actively that much. Only tag her in when she has to finish off a wounded enemy. So in other words, if you're planning of her being your fighter, then once again, the first thing that you need to give her is a block breaker. The rest is not really that important. She has the highest base health in the game of all gold, so any equipment that boosts her health is good. She has the highest toughness, so any equipment that boosts her toughness is good. It totally depends on your playstyle. Okay guys, we got to the teams. Which is the best team for Klassic Mileena? Now, I reckon that Klassic Mileena should be in a female team, and this is something that we should all agree on. But in my opinion, the best female teams for her, the first option is with Morphle Kitana and Treacherous Tanya, and the second option is actually, I call this team the Body Snatchers. This is Klassic Mileena, Reg Davora, and Circle of Shadow Kitana. Reason being, they all do something really great when they kill an enemy, and this team is very fun to play, trust me guys. Okay guys, Klassic Mileena, what do you think of her? Do you like her? Do you dislike her? Please let me know in the comments. Once again, she scored 72.5 and we labeled her as a great character. As usual guys, if you want to see more reviews, you can find them on the top right corner of the screen. See you next time guys. Take care and stay safe.
You're so much fun.
Outstanding.
Perfect.